So I wanted to discuss this topic today because I've had experience with it. I used to have a best friend when I moved to France in my university. I became friends with someone, and I was friends with them for years. But eventually, it all fell apart because of certain reasons, because of their inability to show up in the friendship as I wanted them, and also my inability to communicate effectively what I needed from the relationship, from the friendship, So it ended, and it's a pity because it could have still lasted. And I'm still learning how to maintain and retain friendships or relationships or networking relationships, and all sorts of relationships. I'm still learning to retain them. For a long time, I used to think there's something wrong with me, but right now I think it's just a process that I needed to go through. And I don't regret befriending anyone whom I've lost, whom I've fell apart with, because I learned a lot along the way about relationships, about myself, and about life in general. So basically, not everyone is for your whole life, meaning they cannot accompany you for your whole life journey. Most of your friends, they come and they go for certain parts of your journey. Sometimes you need help in certain parts of your journey, so they help lift you up. Sometimes they need help, so you help lift them up. Sometimes they are there to teach you how to love yourself by not giving you love. Sometimes they're just there to show you what true friendship means. And it doesn't mean because you fell apart or because you are no longer talking or no longer in contact that you're no longer loving each other or sending good energy to each other. Of course, there are certain friendships that we get into without thinking too much about it, and they end up as bad decisions because you realize eventually that it was the person who's toxic, and that ends up wreaking havoc to your well-being. For me, I've made a lot of choices in friendships, in life in general, that I gave people second chances, and I think even third chances in the past. But now I'm at that point of peace where I don't even give second chances. Only one chance is enough for it to. I mean, it depends on the context as well. It depends on the situation. It depends on their intention, and you can see through as well, and you can read the room and all that. But it's okay if you don't have a best friend. If you find yourself in the same situation as me, it's all right. You can still be doing well in life as long as you have your sanity intact, as long as you have your own self, as long as you have your inner peace. And if you haven't found your inner peace, then question the people around you. I mean, you have to make an audit of your inner circle. If you don't have inner peace in your life, you better do an audit of your inner circle and gauge and judge what people are around you. Who are you surrounding yourself with most? Who are you spending the most time with? Do you know that you're even also exchanging energy with them? And that can, more often than not, lead to harm if they don't have the best of intentions for you. A lot of friendships have jealousy, envy, and all that. So it's on us as individuals to see if they're even trustworthy, and to prove their trust. To prove one's trust, it takes years to build trust, but it only takes a moment to break it, a single second to snap it by doing an action. It's okay if you don't have a best friend. It's okay if you don't even have friends even in the first place. It's okay. As long as you have yourself, it's fine. And trust me, as long as you work on your goals and focus on your own life, go on your own path and forge your own path ahead, you will find people who will accompany you, and you'll find your tribe eventually. Now, why do I think it's okay not to have a best friend? Is it because I don't have one, so I'm trying to make myself feel better about it? Or is it because I don't think we should label our friendships as best, this, or that? To be honest, I think both can be true to a certain extent. It's good to always have a general rule of thumb, have knowing of our circles. Who do we know are our close friends, who are our fast friends or friends, and who are our acquaintances. It's always good to know that. But I think the pursuit of best friend, pursuit of some soul sister or soul mate type friendship gets absurd when you are a person who's going through a lot of changes in life, and you're outgrowing people, or they're outgrowing you. It gets difficult. And so due to that, I think it's important that we don't chase this best friend term. If it comes, it comes, and if it doesn't, then it is what it is, and you make it what you want it to be. Not to say I do have, so in getting personal, I do have 2 close friends, but I don't call any of them my best friend. Maybe I will one day, one of them. Let's see. That happens with time, that happens with trust developing, that happens with the other person showing up and you showing up for them, and seeing how it rolls out. So yeah, we shouldn't rush the process in order to, I feel like in our pursuit of finding a best friend, we rush the process, we rush the friendship, and it turns out sour, not stale. It turns out bad a lot of times because we rushed into the process. We didn't judge if they were compatible with us. And yeah, so it's always important to take your time, and that's what I've learned, to take your time, as much time as you want as possible for your friendships, for anything, for your relationships especially. They are crucial for developing you into your future version and your current self. So it's really, really important to not rush that process, to not rush the connection or attachment or anything, because in our desperation for connection, we will end up wreaking havoc on our own being, in our pursuit of finding some connection with someone as a friend. We end up making wrong decisions. We need to trust our gut feeling. We need to trust our intuition regarding people. Your body rejects people when you meet them. Body can reject people when you meet them. When you don't get a good vibe about them, when you feel like something is off, that just simply means they are not for you, and you don't have to fake your way to it and make yourself palatable to them, or make yourself digestible to them and try to get into a friendship with someone like that, because it's a sign that you are not compatible. You are just not. And trust that feeling, trust it, and you'll go places with the people in your life. You really will, if you have people in your life. And if you don't, then keep working on yourself. And I don't want to emphasize this too much, that keep working on yourself. You gotta live too. You have to live. Just live, focus on yourself, on your goals, and you'll find your tribe. You'll find it. I'm sure of that. You won't always be alone. People come and go, but there will be certain people that might stay the course of your life. Hopefully, you never know. You might find a friend with whom you really connect, and you're compatible, and the trust develops, and maybe they end up as a friend for life. So never lose hope. But at the same time, don't chase this title of best friend. Don't chase your next best friend. This is just my opinion. You do you really do you. But this is just my opinion, that in our pursuit of chasing a best friend, by going on these applications and like Bumble and all in order to find a best friend. We just rush the process somehow to find connection. Sometimes you do find a best friend through these things, you know, you never know. But you gotta subscribe to your definition of fun and not to what others are thinking is cool, and you should do what you think is cool, and that's how you'll find your people, you know. So that's that. And you do you, really. If you believe in best friends, then good for you. But if you don't believe in best friend, then this video was specifically made for you, and especially if you don't have friends or a best friend, you know. So yeah, I hope you have the courage to continue ahead with your own self as the companion, because you are your major companion. You are there for your whole life. No one else is there for your whole life. So I hope you have the courage to forge your path ahead, and I hope you have the courage to accept that it's better to be alone with yourself than with people who don't have the best of intentions for you, people who are toxic, people who are jealous, people who want your downfall. I hope you realize that, and hope you realize that your inner peace is your most valuable asset.